Okay, I'm back. Sorry, it's one of these things. It's a Mars class, but sometimes when you gotta go, and I had to take the break. So there you go. Okay, sample 6. Again, here Mars is in Virgo, but down in the 3rd house. Goes down through the 4th house, goes to the 5th house, goes Virgo, Libra into Scorpio. Okay, that's the path across this lifetime. And as it goes through that, it's going to conjunct 73. It's going to conjunct the Venus. It's more positive, intense enjoyment or indulgence or appreciation. It's going to fire up what you want, and then it's going to move along that way till it hits the IC. When it hits the IC, it's opposing your status, but it's pushing for what your motive is or what really motivates you, what you think is secure. Then it's going to go and it's going to oppose the moon, and then it's going to square Saturn, and it's going to oppose the moon, and then it's going to square Uranus, and it's going to square Pluto and conjunct Neptune. So that's the story across the lifetime. Her moon square Saturn, her Mars is not afflicted. Her Mars is, it's conjunct Pluto. So there's a harshness with the Mars, a tendency to over control. And, but it's trine and sextile. There's no other, but Pluto to the Mars still is a harshness, an over control, or challenges around control, or confrontations around what one's doing. And in the 3rd house, who's doing what? It ties into family and other brothers, sisters, and sibling rivalries and stuff like that. Okay. This is a Leo with an Aries moon. How could there be sibling rivalries? There's leaders and there's followers. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead. We're going to work through this. I like working with the whole chart, seeing the whole chart, but when you're looking at it closely, we just have the stages going through. You can see the Venus, and it's marked, and I didn't have time to mark all the aspects. I just got the lines and the dates in, so I'm going to go back to this one and the main chart and work with the main chart here, where you can see the graphs on it. Some of them I had trouble seeing, so I had to break it down and make it smaller, but this is better. So it wasn't until, it's in 1973, she's born in 59, 69, 70, 14, Mars hits her Venus, ta-da. How are you going to tell her who she should date or who she shouldn't date? What she wants or shouldn't. Mars is on Venus. This is a go. Her attitude's going to be there. Her Mars is strong, conjunct Mars. I'm going to do this. Don't tell me I can't do this. So that's a powerful time. You have to know the history. Well, as you know the history, she would know the history, seeing what's going on there. And you go, wow, look at that. Okay. I made all these decisions. I started doing things because this is what I wanted. I started doing that, or what I didn't want, or moving away. Certainly, if somebody said you can't get what you want, she's not going to accept it with her Pluto Mars anyways. But so that's 14. That's probably the boyfriend that she's not allowed to see, but she's going to see anyways. Or anyway, I'm going to assume. I don't know. There could be many specifics that go that way, but working with the caricature. When you're working with a chart, you don't know the person. You see the caricature. You see the basic temperament. You're talking something similar to that person, but you can't imagine that person. They're being it. They're it. But you're doing the chart to that caricature, and often it may not be exactly, but it's close enough that if you're talking to a person, well, I see it like this. Well, what happened? And then you see, oh no, it was this, and it lines it up a lot more clearly when you get the specifics or the real stories. But you can start to see it like that. So that was the conjunction. But the Mars was a little more demanding on the Venus than the Venus would have been on the Mars, but it still set an impression of what one's wanted. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be told what I can't do. I want to do what I want to do. Ta-da. But then it would have gone along, 3rd house, I'm doing my own thing. I'm doing this. And it wasn't until 2001 that it conjuncted the IC. So in 2001, it opposed the IC, and in 2002 it went into Libra. So it hits the IC, then goes into Libra. Okay, so, and as soon as it went into Libra, it would square Saturn. So first she gets this, her Mars has been ruled by Mercury in her mind. Mercury, Uranus, look at this, you got a Leo, moon up in the Sun 1st house, moon in 10th house, Mercury, Uranus in 2nd house. This is an independent thinker. You can see she could easily set up a business doing astrology and talking about astrology, making money using astrology and communicating things, if she has the right depth, or she knows it well enough. She's not going to want to be wrong or doing the wrong thing. She's going to want to see how to do it correctly or be appreciated. If she gets appreciated for something, she's going to really work for it or push really hard for appreciation. If she gets paid well, she's going to work very hard to get paid well. This is tied up to this time, because if she gets paid well, she has things, she can do what she wants. But I see it hits the motivation point. This is the deepest point in your chart. It's the farthest away from career, from authority, and is opposing the moon, squaring Saturn opposing the moon. So during this time, her Mars is struggling with career, with parents. So 2001, that's 42. So by then, it's not her parents, it's probably her being the parent, and the kids, and it's growing up. It's not going always just the way she wants. There's some struggles there going through this. This is 10 years from 2001, 2004, it squares the Saturn. 2012, it opposed the moon. So all of this around career, around parents, maybe it could be parent could be sick and you having to take care of a parent. It could be one of your kids and you have to do more work than you expected or whatever. All of these things come in here, but the Mars is growing through this, it's gaining its experience around what motivates me, who am I really, what do I really want to do? And with that, this kind of voicing, I don't know if you fit in, but her Mars is going into Libra. So by going to Libra, it's going back to the Venus, where I went over Venus. I know what I want to get. I want to be doing things that I'm light for, that I want to do. This is the Mars goes into Libra. But she has first to deal with the Saturn and the moon to get to it. Now she's passed all of that. As she passed that, she's studying the astrology in this period. See, you're not seeing the studying so much from the Mars. You're just seeing what's going on around it. But it's still low down. It's finding something else than what I was doing, so I can do do something I might like. That would be doing something Mars that I might like, and being able to do something that's not so harsh. That I can talk and communicate, be appreciated for. That's a big calling. But you can see how astrology would be a big calling card. To decisions made back when Pluto hit Venus, when Mars hit the Venus, and then went through. Now I've done all this. I've taken care of myself. I've built up things. Now I want to be appreciated. I want to have something I like. I don't know if I want to work just like that. What I want to do. So it's going along. In 33 is the next big aspect, which is it squares the ascendant. So when it squares the ascendant, it's not hitting other aspects. The ascendant is the personality and your identity and your relationships. Who am I? Where am I going? It changes that. So there's where do I want to live? What do I want to do? It's in the 4th house. Some battle comes up, struggle comes up around dealing with that, some adjustment. That's 33 and 41, that's 72. So where am I going to live? I think the age someone is. What am I doing? Like, where would you go live with your kids, or would you want a place of your own? Yeah, so some people are glad to live with their kids. Some people wouldn't, the last place on earth they would want to live. So then it moves along, it goes on through the Libra, it goes in, it's going to go into Scorpio in not until 2050, 2040, goes into Scorpio in 2047. See, I just marked the sheet and just how things are, it goes in Scorpio 2047. So 2047, she would be 80 something. And then if she lives that long, then by 50 it squares the sun, and 53 it conjuncts Neptune, which would be a really mystical time for Mars is there. It's a weakening of the Mars, not being able to do so much or trying to reach to the dream. It's the Neptune effect. It was hard to decide what that is right there, because you get a sort of timeline, and you do this from every planet. Sorry, but we're working with Mars, seeing how you're using your energy, your attitude to energy. You see it shifting in, but you can get close up where you're seeing, oh, here, look at there's this inner process going on. How did it act out by transits? How did it act out in the life? So the real story is telling you what's happening during this. And then you're beginning to make the associations how one thing builds up and it happens and it leads up until the next thing, and it's going along it. At any point, I mean, it's always, if something goes across an angle, the pentagrams, here it's Virgo and Pisces, Virgo, Pisces, probably Virgo, Pisces, Pisces is the pentan and the subpentan. And then you can go through the hexagrams and the subhexagrams. The IC is a deeply motivating point, so sometimes when Mars there, it might be useful to do that. After the fact, maybe it's useful because you may know what it was. So you can pick and choose. Any one of these things, you could spend 3 hours. You could spend 3 hours on this for every couple of months, and every couple of months in your life. Whoops. Where did I go here? Back. We're at 6. We're going to 7. Okay. Okay, good. Here we are. Okay, the main idea is getting comfortable with this, and then you got the theory, you got the timing, you got the music, and their story of how they danced. You can imagine how someone might dance to this music, but when they start feeding in, they say, "Oh, they did that. Oh, that happened there. Oh, that happened there." Then the progressions begin to place. It's hard enough to understand your own progressions. To be able to communicate to someone else about it, you're talking about, well, these are some potentials that are going on. You're seeing the undercurrent of things going on, but often these are the undercurrents of complexes or inner struggles going on in a person's life. Okay, so we're going up to 8, 7. Okay, 7. Mars in Virgo, 6th house. It's going to move up over the sun, over to Venus. It goes into Virgo, into Libra. Mars in Libra is not the strongest, but it's still going to go over the sun, over Venus. The wanting to be appreciated, wanting to do things that you like, these elements coming in. Then it's going to hit the descendant relationships. It's going to hit the Neptune dream. These are all conjunctions. Then it's going to conjunct the Mercury, 2013. And then there's going to be a need to act on your own ideas. And that's on your ideas. And that's when the Scorpio, Mars in Scorpio. So from the Virgo, the kind of fussy, to the being appreciated and that the guiding what you're doing. I like this, I don't like this. To Mars, it's going to be much more judgmental and competitive. I'm going to prove this. If I didn't get this, I'm going to go get this myself, or I'm going to think like this. So it goes over to Mercury, get the ideas together, and then starts moving forward through the 7th house. By 2039, it'll hit the Saturn. 2046 in the 90s, she hits it. It will oppose the moon. So those could be more slowing down or tiring out energies. Okay, now out of this. Yeah, so basically, that's kind of, you see this, you see the first big Mars on the moon, Mars on the sun, 81, 65, 75. Okay, so she's 30, 81, no, she's 75, 75, 26 by Mars on the sun. So by this time, she's married, she's got a job, she's making the kids go, she's not having the kids where I don't know if she has a job or not, but she's married and making things go. Like, this is the situation. It's going that way till 95. It's pushing, it's going along, pushing on what she's working at, having the kids, the marriage, the different things. The Venus comes up to 95. Am I getting what I want, or do I have to fight for more? What am I always fighting? What am I doing? So pushing what I have to do. What do I want? What do I have to do? That comes up strong. Then it'll hit Mars, hit the descendant in 98. That's a big struggle with changing from being personally of service or being below the horizon to above the horizon to who's doing what, who's with me, who's not. Comes out into the 7th house. And as soon as it gets into the 7th house in 98, it's going to go by September 6th, it's going to go 2006, September, it's going to get up to, so really it's going to be conjuncting Neptune 2004, 5, 6, 7, all this whole period. So I have to do what I should. I have to believe this. I have to do things what I'm believing. I'm doing this. And it's in the house of relationships, house of relationships. So the dream of relationships in 2006 becomes very different, whether it's this is the dream or I got to get away from the dream or there's a new dream that comes up there. That's the Mars acting on it.